No, and he has a right to. We went out there and, had what I think is our last scrimmage, before UK next Saturday, and, we went out there and didn't perform like we should have. We're kind of going through emotions a little bit. We didn't execute. It was all together. It was kind of disappointing.
Coach said that it's really up to the leaders of this team to kind of right this ship. Now it's one of the big faces and one of the leadership roles. What are you going to do? What are you going to say to the guys to kind of get this thing going the right way?
It's not going to take much. The guys know what we got to do. We all know what we got to do. We're kind of at that point in the season, especially this week is always the hardest weeks. You're done with camp. All of a sudden you're back in classes. You got to get up early. You're going on your feet all day. You don't have time for any kind of naps or anything like that. And you still have 2 weeks till the game. So it's not like we're in the week of the game where you're all excited, pumped up. But you're after camp, so it kind of feels like a lull. But the biggest thing, guys got to go out and they got to push past it. Guys' legs are hurting. We're tired. You got heavy legs, quarterbacks, heavy arms. But that's just one of those things we got to push through it. We got to get where we want to go, and that's winning every single game this year. And if we're going to do that, we have to push through these tough days where we don't feel like it. We don't feel great. It's not 100%. If we can push past that and still execute, then we'll be on target.
Was it a lack of intensity or mental mistakes, or what made him mad?
I think a little bit of both. We had some mental errors, we had some physical errors, but there was definitely a lack of intensity. We didn't go out there, jacked up. We weren't bouncing around. That's when we get to go in the stadium. That's an honor. That's our home. That's a place that we got to protect. So every time we go in there, whether we're playing an opponent or whether we're playing ourselves, we have to be intense, into the game, mentally focused. And we just weren't there today.
Who played better, offense or defense?
I don't think either of us played very well.
You played against Kentucky last year. Now your preparations have begun for them. What do you see in the Wildcats?
They're a man team. As far as defensively, they're a man team. They like to play man. If they're going to play man, they're going to be up in your face. They're going to press you. If they want to play zone, they're going to be off and give you all the underneath stuff. So, we're going to go in there and pretty much just take what they give us. Our offense can do a lot of different things. So, whatever they do, we have an answer for.
Do you feel that switching over to the field turf may have played a factor in maybe the intimidation factor today, people not stepping up?
No,
okay.
Not at all. That's it feels good when you get there on turf. You feel a lot faster, so that doesn't have anything to do with it.
It is your home stadium. It's different when you walk in there than it was even just a year ago. It looks a lot bigger, and it is with all that. I know that probably wasn't a factor in practice. When you talk about the being in that place,
yeah, it feels much more like a stadium. Much more like a stadium and not, a field that you go play football on with some bleachers around it. You walk in there, it's enclosed on both sides now. The big scoreboard on the closed end, kind of close it in as well. But it's much more, like you say, it gives it much more of a football, high-intensity feel, and when it's packed with 60,000 people, it's even better.